I had searched deep within my heart and spirit, and I wanted to make a change and move to a new plateau in my life. And one of the ways in which I did that was to change my name. It sort of divorced me from the past and all the hang-ups that go along with it, as it's been well chronicled in deep dispute with my record label.
And which is Warner Brothers, right?
Yeah. We had some issues that were basically about ownership of the music and how often I was supposed to record and things like that. I really searched deep within to find out the answer to whether fame was most important to me or my spiritual well-being, and I chose the latter. On December 31st, 1999, my publishing contract with Warner Chappell expired, thus emancipating the name I was given before birth, Prince, from all long-term restrictive documents.
As we reflect on the life of Prince, a pattern of unsettling events begins to emerge, suggesting that the legendary musician might have had an eerie premonition about the end of his life. In the days leading up to his death, Prince posted a cryptic image on his social media, accompanied by a message that was eventually deleted. This mysterious post, combined with his final appearance at a party at Paisley Park shortly after reportedly receiving treatment for health issues, left attendees with a strange feeling. Allegedly, during this party, Prince made a chilling remark to those around him, saying, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." This statement was interpreted by many as a foreshadowing of his impending death. Just days later, Prince was found unresponsive at his estate in Minnesota, and the cause of death was reported as an accidental overdose on counterfeit Vicodin, laced with the potent synthetic opioid fentanyl. However, the idea that someone as health-conscious and disciplined as Prince would succumb to such an overdose seemed implausible to many. Prince had always been known for his strict lifestyle, particularly his avoidance of drugs and alcohol, so the notion that he would have inadvertently taken a dangerous substance seemed highly questionable. Many people began to speculate that his death was not as simple as an accidental overdose.
Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love for one another.
Instead, there were whispers that Prince had been planning to expose something much darker, something that could have endangered his life. In the days leading up to his passing, Prince had been openly frustrated with the way his career had been controlled by the music industry, particularly by his record label, Warner Music. Prince signed with Warner when he was just 18 years old in 1977, and despite his early albums not being huge commercial successes, the label saw his potential and kept him on. By the early 1980s, Prince's music began to catch on, and he quickly became one of the most iconic musicians of his generation, especially with the rise of MTV. He understood the power of the music video and used it to help shape his image and increase his fan base. As he rose to fame, however, his relationship with Warner began to deteriorate. He grew increasingly frustrated with how the label controlled his career and finances, and after a while, Prince realized that Warner owned not just his music, but his entire identity. His battle for control of his own work reached a breaking point when, in the mid-1990s, he changed his name to a symbol, a move that made headlines around the world. The name change was a protest against Warner's control over his name and work. He even became known as the artist formerly known as Prince during this period.
I will now go back to using my name instead of the symbol I adopted as a means to free myself from all undesirable relationships.
But despite this symbolic protest, Prince still felt trapped. He began publicly criticizing Warner Music and, in a highly publicized move, wrote the word slave on his face during an appearance. This act was a direct challenge to the label's treatment of him, and it sent a powerful message about how the music industry had been exploiting him for years. He even tried to buy back the rights to his music, but Warner refused. Instead, Prince decided to re-record his catalogue of songs, making sure that his version would be more artistic and creative than the ones Warner had originally released. His new catalogue, released under his own label Paisley Park, was designed to compete with the one owned by Warner, and he gave his fans the option to support either Warner or his independent label. It was a bold move to regain control of his own work, but it seems that the music industry giants didn't take kindly to his rebellion. As Prince continued to fight for autonomy, the pressure on him grew. It's been suggested that the music industry powers that be were not content with simply letting him go his own way. Instead, they took more drastic measures to ensure that Prince wouldn't succeed in undermining their control. Some conspiracy theories claim that these powerful figures may have been behind his untimely death. The idea is that they saw him as a threat, someone who was becoming too outspoken and too independent, and that they decided to silence him before he could fully expose the corrupt practices of the industry. According to reports, Prince was just days away from revealing the names of those involved in these alleged schemes. He had reportedly confided in family members, including his sister Tyka Nelson, about the dangers he was facing and his plans to expose the truth. Tyka later shared that Prince had told her he was in trouble and that he intended to reveal the names of the people who were after him. Tragically, he died before he could follow through on this promise. Tyka, who passed away herself not long ago, had a complicated relationship with Prince. Despite rumors that the two were not close, Tyka spoke fondly of their childhood together, revealing that their parents had told Prince that he would need to take care of his sister. She also shared that Prince had helped her through some difficult times in her life, including getting her into rehab when she was struggling with substance abuse.
Save your life and getting you into rehab.
Yes, he did. I had a long time kind of battling those things, and after my father passed, it got really bad. And so I called up Big Bruh to help. He said, okay, when and where.
This relationship between Prince and Tyka adds a layer of sadness and poignancy to the mystery surrounding his death.
It wasn't hard at all. It was a 2-second phone call. He's gone. I had been preparing for 2 years, so I knew that it was coming.
What does that mean?
He said it a couple of years ago.
What would he say?
What he said was, I've done everything that I've come to do. So I was crushed for about two years.
The timing of Prince's death, just days before he reportedly planned to expose the truth, has led many to question whether it was truly an accident. Some believe that Prince was a casualty of a larger, more sinister agenda to protect the powerful figures in the music industry who had been exploiting him. Could he have been silenced because he knew too much? And could he have been another casualty of the music industry's deep-seated corruption? In an interview with the Minnesota Star-Tribune, Tyka Nelson, Prince's sister, recalled the last conversation she had with her brother just days before his death. She shared that Prince was unusually evasive when she tried to ask him about what was troubling him. Every time she pressed him, he would deflect, change the subject, or make a joke to lighten the mood. Despite her repeated attempts to get him to open up, he never revealed what was on his mind, though Tyka could tell he was aware of her concerns. She later admitted that Prince seemed like he was keeping something from her, but she didn't know exactly what it was. His avoidance was a sign that he might have known something was coming. Whether or not Prince shared his suspicions about who was after him with Tyka, we may never know. But it's clear that his sister was aware that something dangerous was looming. What's even more intriguing is the similarities between the issues Prince was exposing and those that Michael Jackson had been confronting before his death.
Very important because throughout the years, black artists have been taken advantage of completely. And it's time now that we have to put a stop to this incredible injustice. And like Mrs. Sharpton was saying, people from James Brown to Sammy Davis Jr., some of the real pioneers that inspired me to be the entertainer that I am. These artists are always on tour because if they stopped touring, they would totally go broken. And it's been, the record companies really do conspire against their artists. They steal, they cheat, they do whatever they can, especially the black artists. Sony, Tommy Mottola. Tommy Mottola is the president of the record division. He is a mean, he's a racist, and he's very devilish.
Despite rumors of a rivalry between the two, it turns out they shared common ground. especially when it came to fighting for control of their music. While the media portrayed them as enemies, in reality, Prince and Michael Jackson had a private friendship. Prince was one of the people most affected by Michael's death. In fact, after Michael passed away, everyone was eager to hear Prince's reaction, but he chose to stay silent publicly. However, those close to him revealed that Prince was deeply shaken by the loss. He reportedly cancelled rehearsals, sent his band home, and secluded himself for days in his bedroom, refusing to speak to anyone. Prince's former bodyguards even confirmed that the two were friends who shared a private bond, often hanging out away from the public eye. Michael had visited Paisley Park several times, and they'd spent time together, playing games and chatting like normal friends. Michael even played the final version of his Dangerous album for Prince before its release, and Prince reportedly loved it. They supported each other privately, but the media had been intent on turning their relationship into a rivalry. In truth, both artists simply wanted control over their music, and their shared battle against the music industry's power structures is something that, unfortunately, might have contributed to both of their mysterious deaths.
I own half of Sony's publishing, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it, but I just did good business, you know. So the way they get revenge. And Tommy Mottola is a devil.
The music business runs like this. You'll have a manager, you'll have an attorney, you'll have various record company people. Everybody's taking a cut of everything that you do. So when you're in the fold, when you're in the club and everybody's getting a piece of everything, your tour, your publishing, any endorsements, and when they're getting a piece of all of that, you will have hit record. The moment you step away from that and you want to, in fact, take control of your own life, your own experience, then you'll find you're not hot anymore.
Adding another layer to the intrigue, in the years leading up to his death, Prince had placed his trust in Jay-Z, hoping that the rapper's business ventures would be more artist-friendly. Prince partnered with Jay-Z's streaming service, Tidal, to release his music, believing that Jay-Z had the best interests of artists in mind. But things soured when, in 2016, Prince's estate filed a lawsuit against Tidal, accusing the platform of illegally streaming 15 of his albums. The lawsuit claimed that Tidal had only been granted a 90-day exclusive license for Prince's album Hit and Run, but the service had uploaded a significant portion of his catalogue without proper authorization. Tidal argued that they had a legitimate agreement, but Prince's estate disputed this, saying the contract was fabricated. The estate claimed that Jay-Z's company had overstepped its bounds and exploited Prince's work, and they were furious that they never received any proof of a valid agreement. This conflict raised questions about whether Prince had already realized that Jay-Z, whom he had trusted, might have been another player in the system that exploits artists. There were even rumors that Prince had intended to expose Jay-Z's connections with those who had been taking advantage of musicians like him. Sadly, Prince's death came before he could fully reveal the extent of what he knew. If you found this story as chilling as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the untold stories of music legends. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Prince knew his time was running out? Who do you think he was about to expose? Let's get the conversation going. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.